for a long time, a pervasive problem has been individuals that are under 21 years old and under have been coming down to Chippewa and consuming alcohol in private parking lots, having parking lot parties, engaging in brawls, large-scale street fights, and then discharging firearms, and some of them have led to fatalities, and we have to tackle the problem head-on and honestly.
Buffalo Common Councilman Mitch Nowakowski is proposing to ban anyone younger than 21 from being on West Chippewa during the late hours of the weekend. This ban would be the section of West Chippewa between Maiden and Delaware and would go into effect after 10 p.m. on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturday nights.
That proposed ban is getting some pushback, especially from businesses that host 18 and older events on Thursday nights. We're joined now by local attorney Jacob Pierkowski, who represents Bottoms Up and Venue, two local spots that host those types of events. Jacob, thank you for being here.
Absolutely, thank you.
I'm holding some correspondence in my hand right now. What was this that you sent to council members?
So we sent a letter today we had a letter hand delivered to all the members of the Common Council, as well as the mayor and the deputy mayors and corporation council for the city, voicing a different narrative than we've heard about this idea of closing Chippewa to people between 18 and 20 years old. What we've heard routinely is that the community organizations and that businesses are in favor of this closure. And what we've provided is evidence in letters signed by a variety of businesses and members of various community organizations that they're in fact not in favor of this.
So there is a conflict there. The city says, hey, we believe we've got a list of people who do think this is a good idea. You're saying unequivocally, according to a signed letter, actually, of these business owners, no, in fact, we do not. So what is the city supposed to do with that information? If they're saying, hey, we've got some people who think that's a good idea, you're saying, and you've got a letter documenting, no, there are many folks who do not think this is a good idea.
When you say many, there's about 20 on this
of them,
list.
right?
Yeah, there's about 20 businesses, business owners in the neighborhood who've all said, we think it's good that we have patrons from 18 to 20 years old here. The city has had a long history. Bottoms Up, which is one of my clients for over 15 years, has done college nights on Thursday nights. And that invites patrons down from 18 to 20 years old to come to the establishment. And the city is now saying we don't want to do that anymore. That's been a long-standing tradition in Buffalo in the nightlife, and it's going to be a drastic change to the city because it not only affects Bottoms Up, but it affects places like Venue, like Rec Room, places like Showplace Theater and Shays, because all of these places allow patrons over 18 years old to be on their premises in the evenings.
Got it. Let's talk about those 18 and up, events and how they help your client specifically. If these type of events went away, would we see closures of these businesses on Chippewa? Is it that, much of their business, these 18 and up events on Thursdays?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a really significant part of their business and other businesses in the area. And the other thing is that these guests that come into our establishments that are under 21 are a huge part of the economic flywheel downtown. They're spinning off a lot of extra money in cafes, in hotels, patronizing other businesses, ride shares. So this will be a significant hit not only to our businesses, but to downtown nightlife in general.
We've said it about 3 times in this interview. Mitch Nowakowski said it. You've said it as well about Bottoms Up and their history. This stuff has been going on for decades. Why now? Why is now an appropriate time, you think, or maybe you don't think, that the city is actually trying to take this action? What's new? What's changed?
Nothing that we can see. We're not really sure. For years, my clients have received the proper permits to host 18 and up events, and we were recently asked to apply for what's called a special use permit. We've made that application, and shortly after making that application, we understand that legislation is before the Common Council to prevent anyone 18 to 20 years old from being on Chippewa in the evening.
Jacob, can we talk a little bit about that? You said that there actually a policy has changed, or some kind of action by the city has changed, in that you guys just received communication that was different. So the city is already changing its actions here?
My understanding is that there's a legislative session tomorrow in which the Common Council is going to discuss this measure. I don't know exactly how far along it is or what discussions have been had.
But you're already having to apply for a different permit than you would have before?
Yes, we've already made that application.
Got it.
Yeah, about a month ago.
This was all put into place, and it's not put into place. This is just a proposal. Right. It was proposed by Mitch Nowakowski because of some violence that has been happening downtown. These 18 and over nights on Thursdays, maybe you, but not you, but your businesses that you represent, have they seen violence during these nights?
No, that's actually what's kind of quizzical about the whole thing, is that Thursday nights are a really safe, relatively tame night on Chippewa. My clients go above and beyond with security measures, with wanding, with metal detectors, and they try to do everything they can to make sure their patrons are safe. So Thursday nights really aren't the issue. And the incidents we've seen recently that have made the news are not Thursday night issues.
Got it, yeah.
A lot of that activity you were just talking about, the security, a lot of that is sort of on site or within perhaps the premises of a bar or a restaurant. One of the other common complaints, according to Nowakowski and others, is people are congregating and basically tailgating in maybe a bottoms up or a venue's parking lot or something like that. What steps do you know of that either your clients or others are taking to curb any of that kind of drinking outside the establishment? Because clearly we have video and all, I mean, that's clearly happening, but it's also not new.
Right. Oh, it's a big problem. And that really, it's our feeling that that's the source of the problem of the issues on Chippewa. It's not the guests and the patrons of the bars and the restaurants. They're not the ones causing the problems. It's the people that are hanging out that are not spending money at the bars, that are not going into these places. The bars provide a safe place for recreation and to enjoy the establishment, but the reality is that it's the people hanging out in parking lots that are parking on the street just sort of waiting to see what happens. So we have no jurisdiction over those parking lots. We don't own them, we don't lease them. There's nothing we can do about that. We've had a great partnership with the city and the Buffalo Police Department in trying to help if there's incidents, doing whatever we can, but the reality is we don't have any control over them.
Yeah. All right, Jacob, thank you so much for coming on. We will continue to follow this. Again, this is just a proposal, and this is just a letter. This isn't really legal action yet.
No, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.